Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Boulder, where it's always exciting. There's always something new and different happening. There's always changes, which keeps us on our toes. So we are going to start with a song called Holy Spirit this morning. I would love if you all would stand and sing with us. Let me invite you to do that. There's nothing worth more that could ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, Lord. I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of loves, where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for, to be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. There's nothing worth more that could ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, Lord. I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of loves, where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is
Don't touch anybody. No, we got the word down from Unity Worldwide to all the Unity centers and churches. Put it out there. No touching. You can do the bow or you can wave, but they want us to honor, the conditions regarding the coronavirus. So you can just bow to each other, you can give each other these names, say, good morning, I appreciate having you here next to me, etc., like that. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. And don't touch your face. Don't touch anybody's face. No kissing, no sex, nothing. It's over. Life as we knew it is over. Want to say to all of you, please turn off your cell phone, at least the sound, so we don't have any interruptions. You can leave it on if you want to text someone and let them know you're here at the Unity service and what a great place it is to be on a Sunday morning or on a Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock. This is something you can do, but we don't want to hear your cell phone ringing during the service. I want to say welcome to all the people that are seeing this on live stream. We appreciate you tuning in more and more, so continue to do that. And if you are so moved, you can send in a little donation, a tithe of some kind. We appreciate that too. I want to thank all of our Spanish-speaking friends that show up to add their energy to this service. This is a unity community. We are all in this together. We all share in this beautiful thing called life. And it's a wonderful thing to have the diversity of life to share with. Is there anybody here from another Unity Center? Okay. Another Unity Center. You from another Unity? Okay. Anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand. Raise it high because we're going to give you a gift. No, seriously. Okay. Anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand high. We're going to give you a gift. Appreciate it. All right. Just want to give you a little tip. If you happen to be on an airplane or in a crowd of unknown people and things like that, and you're a little concerned, somebody's coughing or sneezing, get some thieves, some stuff you can buy thieves. And if you put a little bit on your wrists and right under here, you're going to be just fine. So just want to let you know that's something that Norm and I would do. I'm not prescribing that as a medical person. All right. This guy walks into a supermarket and he picks up one loaf of bread, a pint of milk, and one serving of a TV dinner. At the checkout counter, the lady says to him, "You're single, aren't you?" He says, "Yeah." "How'd you guess?" She said, "Because you're ugly."
Tough act to follow. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. We got a few quick announcements to get through here. We're having an affirmative meditative prayer class starting Tuesday, March 17th, and runs for 5 weeks from 6 to 8 p.m. It's taught by a good friend of ours, Joy Clearly, who is also a licensed Unity teacher. You can get a little more information about it in your handout, or you could come talk to us in the bookstore over here. You can sign up in the bookstore or online. It's $85, or it's $100 the day of. Out in our lobby right here, we're doing our annual Easter Lily fundraiser. We're selling the lilies for $15, in which you purchase and then dedicate to a loved one or a friend who's passed on, and we use them to decorate our our beautiful sanctuary here for Easter, and then you can take them home after our Easter performances. And you can get them right out here in the lobby, and our friend Marjorie McCurtain is taking care of that. All right, March 22nd, we are having a free Spirit Nia Jam. And Nia is the dance that we have going on over here in Fellowship Hall 3 mornings a week, and that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But this is a free chance to try it out if you've ever wanted to try a Nia class. There's no skill limit on it. It can be your first time, or you can have been doing this for 20 years. It's from 12:30 to 1:30. Men and women are all invited, and there's free childcare as well. And lastly, we are having our spring equinox celebration Thursday, March 19th at 8 p.m. We'll be doing, if the weather's nice, we'll be doing it outside by the garden. We'll be dancing, singing, and drumming, and celebrating the coming spring. And if you have any seeds that you would like to bring, that you're going to be planting this year, that you would like to bring to be blessed, please bring those as well. Thank you.
Good morning. Now let's take some time for prayer. I encourage you to just really relax in your seat. Let go of the outside world and all its busyness. Let go, breathe, and receive. Today, let us turn to our Mother Earth as a reminder of God's blessings, of Spirit's blessing to us. Today is such a sunny day. We can use that sun as a reminder that we are unconditionally loved. That light and that energy of the sun comes to us no matter what's happening in our lives or no matter where we are. We are blessed unconditionally. And we can relax and receive that light and love at any moment. And we also have a great reminder here, this ever-flowing Boulder Creek. And that reminds us that Spirit is like an ever-flowing stream. We have an ever-flowing stream of Spirit flowing into our lives, nourishing our dreams and empowering us and building our strength in times of need. We are so blessed by that ever-flowing stream of life energy from Spirit. Feel that flowing through your body right now into every cell and out into your life and every aspect of your life, infused with the ever flow of Spirit. And we are also blessed with wind here in Colorado. And we can use that as a reminder that Spirit comes into our lives and can blow away those limiting thoughts and blow away that fear and that lack of forgiveness, and making space for Spirit. Because then on that same wind comes the answers, comes the guidance, comes the knowledge that we need. So we embrace the wind of Spirit to clear and to bring us what we need. And lastly, let us look to the reminder of gravity. Wherever we are, again, there's a pull to connectedness, a pull to unity. And no matter what's happening in our lives, we can relax and let go. And at the same time, relax and let go into our hearts, into that core of Spirit. No matter what is happening in our lives, we can drop into our hearts and into Spirit and feel that love and feel that connection. And do that now. Let go, relax, down into your heart, down down into spirit. Let go. Breathe. And receive. Thank you, Spirit, for all these reminders of how we are so blessed and unconditionally loved. Thank you, God, for all your unlimited blessings. And to this we say, Amen.
Come to me, I am ready to receive. 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 I am open to love. Come to me, I am open. I am ready to receive. Come to me, I am open. I am ready to receive. Ready to receive love. Ready to receive
My heart is open. My heart is open. My heart is open. My heart is open.
I am ready to receive. Come to me.
My heart
I am
is
ready to
open. My heart is open.
come to me.
My heart is open.
I'm in a meditative state from that song. I love that song. It's just, I really could just listen to that for an hour and we wouldn't have to have me up here speaking and I wouldn't have to write a sermon. We could just listen to the music, let it heal us. As they say, to sing is to pray twice, and just to be in the presence of just that affirmation of being ready to receive is so pertinent and so needed for many people right now. This is a talk series I've been giving. This is the 4th talk of 5 talks, and today's talk title is Phoenix Rising from the Ashes, but the original talk series is called Stormproof, Securing Your Spiritual Foundation in a World of Radical Unknowing-ness. And today's talk is about looking into how the state of the planet and the world is affecting our personal lives, and how we need to stay vibrationally at peace in the midst of all of it. And how do we do that with all of the things on TV, with viruses going on, and global warming, and looking at the weather patterns and seeing it all changing in front of our eyes, and looking at political figures and trying to figure out who's going to do the best work to listen to what we really want to see in our future. And there's just this kind of this temper, this vibration of a longing to see a change in this world, feeling a sense of helplessness as an individual, and yet you have to remember we're a collective consciousness, and that it's really about staying in that vibrational peace as we step into our power and become these co-creators with God. I don't see my switcher for my slide. I have no switcher up here. Somebody has it. Thank you. So I will just read this next slide, and it's just defining what the phoenix rising from the ashes means. As the story goes, the phoenix is a mythical bird with fiery plumage that lives up to 100 years. Near the end of its life, it settles into its nest of twigs, which then burns ferociously, reducing bird and nest to ashes. And from those ashes, a fledgling phoenix rises, renewed and reborn. And I thought that would be a good vision. Thank you, Shad. So when we look at this climbing temperature in politics and in planet and in weather and in our own personal lives, because we are vibration, we are energy, right? So if this ripple of energy is out there in the world, then we're probably seeing that ripple of energy in our relationships, in our work, in our relationships with our children, all of the above. And I'm speaking to this because I've had a week like that. I mean, if something that has been pushed underneath a rug in any way, shape, or form, it has been rearing its head, and it's like, you are going to look at this. You are going to look at vibrationally what's going on with the people that are surrounding your life. And I'd say last night when I was I already have a little bit of a stress on Saturday nights before I speak, just being in the place of letting it go and in surrender and knowing you've written the talk, but God now has to take over. I always have this little bit of a temperature of stress, but yesterday I had anxiety. And I guess it's because of the unhealed areas of my own life that have shown up this week, and I feel like I'm kind of standing on not sure ground in my own beingness. And so when I'm sitting with the sermon, I'm feeling like, who am I to be standing up there tomorrow? Honestly, when I'm feeling this sense of disconnect, I'm trying to find my way through my journey as a human being having a spiritual experience, right? So, mostly the meditation and all this stuff works with you, but sometimes there's a season of change that is here to uproot us so that we may expand into the greater understanding of why we're here and what we're supposed to bring energetically to this world. And so I would say that this temperature we're feeling in the world is kind of in the flames right now, about to turn to ash, and then the renewal and the rebirth happens. There's this very highly respected channeler, and in this talk series I've been referring to the Akashic Records, our personal way of learning how to tap into the Akashic Records. I've been talking about spirit guides and how we're supported by spirit guides, and we can ask for support and help in awakening us to that which is being called in any difficult situation or even a blessing. I've been speaking about psychic and abilities and being empaths and how we cultivate a relationship with all these things, because all these things we are. So whenever I'm speaking about a channeler or a psychic, I'm never speaking about an idea that's outside of ourselves. Just like in Unity, as far as it being a Christian church, we only follow Jesus' teachings, but we never see Jesus separate than what we are capable of growing in ourselves. Right? So all of these things, I'm not speaking to the specialness of other people that were given some separate gift that we weren't actually given as well. And so I feel like my greatest work is to wake us all up to how do we access these abilities and harness them and get better at it so that we can be greater co-creators with this greater potential, this greater love we call God. And with that said, there's a channeler named Lee Harris who's highly respected, and he has been speaking about the time that we're in right now, and I want to read this right here. The energetic and collective makeup of your society is in a dismantling, disillusion phase which will create confusion, anxiety, and fear, which some of the energetics on your planet like, because then, of course, they think they can manipulate things to go their way. But they are not surviving in these either times. The uprising of the light or the consciousness in people is going to follow or outweigh anyone who would control or manipulate. It will just take time. He says it's going to take about 7 or 8 years, but this reading was in 2018, so it's more like 6 or 7 years. He says, but that living, you have never felt before quite the same as we are right now. Like, we've never really been in a phase where energetically we're all going through it. It's not just some people are going through it, regardless if we're being honest or not. And you don't have to be on a spiritual path to be feeling this vibrational change. But it means you will feel very alive in 6 or 7 years. And you will feel very in your body and your spirit at the same time. And many of us are transmitters for healing the frequency on the planet right now. So we have to step into being the light workers or the light bearers that we were all put here to be. And as I was talking 2 weeks ago about soul mates or soul families, we've all come together as soul families, completely clearly aware that we would be here in these times. Right? And, in the Bible it talks about it to be the end days. It's the end of a limited consciousness that no longer serves this planet. Because first, before everything, is the Mother Earth. And a great respect is starting to be turned towards her. And so we understand that this is the dire time. That's 6 or 7 years. We also know he's saying we're going to see a new life, a new rebirth. But that means we have to be out doing the work we need to be doing and absolutely being authentic in our truth that we are the ones that are going to make the changes happen. in this world. So Lee Harris says it this way: many of you in this spiritual world are having a bit of a crash awakening at the moment, and a certain loss of a dream, a certain loss of an illusion. The illusion that you thought everything was going to transform without too much effort on your part, or without you getting into the trenches. Does that feel about right? It's like we thought, well, somebody else is going to take care of this. And we kept waiting for the politicians to take care of it. And we see this Greta Thunberg running around the country and trying to save this planet. She's like 15 years old, and she's blaming us and our parents for not looking at the problems as they were coming along. And now we're in like dire times. And so how is that affecting us on a personal level? So I would say that the anxieties that I'm feeling are vibrational and personal too. In my relationships with people that might have thought that they were healed are not 100% healed, and there's other layers that are showing up that need more conversation and more, being with it. Not necessarily conversation to one another, but looking at what is coming up that's making me feel separate from God. And when we're in that state of feeling separate from God, they call that the time of the dark night of the soul. It's a time of feeling off and not necessarily apart or knowing what to do. And it's like everywhere I'm looking is, Syntysche, be with this. Be with this, because there's a great calling. And it's not just me, because I'm meeting with people and my counseling sessions reflect. It's why I end up writing certain sermons, because I see there's a current that I'm seeing in all people, and I'm not separate from that. I'm just with you, just mirroring back what is going on for all of us. So if there's this messy planet situation and a messy collective energy that's going on, then there's also going to be things coming up in our physical health, our mind, our body, our relationships with our spouses, and yet we might find that we're feeling like we don't know where to find the peace, and yet this is the time to heal the deeper relationships with everybody that's with us, because those are the teachers that grow our soul so that we're ready to face the challenges that are in the very midst of us right now. It's not a time to turn our head away, but it's actually to face the very thing we're afraid of, which is feeling the fear and the pain of the world. And it's being shown through our relationships with others. The most effective change makers are no longer afraid of the side of themselves that has avoided the suffering and pain for our planet and for themselves. So the most effective change makers are no longer afraid of being with their pain. Because within that, we all know that's the current where we go deep. We have to grieve what is not healed within us. We tend to, when we're in that state, you want to just find your way out. It's like you want to do anything to distract yourself and climb your way out of that feeling of uncomfortable, uncontrollable stuckness, and you don't know what to do. So some people go shopping, some people go drinking, but in the end, wherever you go, there you are. Because when you're in the dark night of the soul, you're in it. Because it's in divine order for what is being called for a global picture of consciousness, which is called awakening. And so how many people have been feeling a subtle anxiety or depression or a sense of separation or not feeling as much light in their darkness? Yeah, so quite a few, like 80%. And that doesn't make you less than. That means that you're vibrationally in touch with what is going on right now. So you probably have a sense of being an empath or being somewhat of a psychic. You are part of the vibrations. You work with the currents of what life is. So that doesn't make you wrong. That makes you so right. I love it. Being honest about our pain is a beautiful thing. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? But this is the one that people have the hardest part with, which is change. The things that have made us comfortable to this point, the things that we have held on to in the outer world that we thought are keeping us safe, keeping us sheltered, keeping us whatever it is, those things are falling away for us to feel the vastness of this experience and to become much more trusting and leaning into this greater love, this greater potential, and letting it literally move us to that which is where you're supposed to be right now. And so that falling away is change. And change brings up fear for people. Because the consistency of something is all we've known. Even if we're unhappy in that consistency, to be brave enough to change it, to try something new, of going to what we don't know is available, sometimes we just hold on to the old life that's so not served us for so many, many, many years because we're too afraid to finally jump off the cliff and let God hold us. Yeah, you might not be able to keep the mansion or the 3 Lexuses and but you'll always be taken care of. And you'll be landed in the life that you've always dreamt of because your soul knows where it's supposed to be. But it's our intellect that stops us in the journey of moving forward. But first we have to move inward before we can move forward. In Spirit NIA classes, which I take here 3 times a week, I also take them in Lions. And I brought them here because I think the form of movement for exercise and spiritual connection with others is such a powerful way for me to meditate. I need to move in my meditation, and it's mostly women, but men are completely welcome, and it's a sisterhood. We might not even talk to each other, but we feel so interconnected in healing with each other through dance, And we have that free gathering in 2 Sundays. It'll be right after church, so we just wear your dance clothes, and we're just going to jump in there, and we're going to totally check out these 3 amazing instructors that we've hired here. But one of the things that we do at the beginning, they'll ask us to look into our now body, to get in the presence of our now body. Not our then body, because a lot of us that aren't 20 anymore, we want to be back to the then body, right? There's this idea that I want to be in the 20-year-old body. But the whole point of NIA is getting the presence of now body and feeling everything that's going in and through every aspect, what's feeling stuck, what's feeling beautiful, what's feeling tight, going through all the whole check-in. And then we localize where's the feeling pattern in this hurt hip or in this stomach or this whatever. We check in and then we dance into that, into the fear of something's happening in a relationship. We dance into an excitement of a traveling thing we're going to do. But we get to dance into it, and then eventually by the end it's about dancing with it. So at first we're kind of dancing in the fear to kind of move it out of our system, let's get that out, and it feels so much better. But then eventually when you can move with it, because it is also valuable, because it is also a part of what is awakening in you. So it's not to just throw everything out and think you're going to get onto your new path. It's about being and dancing with something until one day you just don't realize how you got to this awakened place, but the dark night of the soul is over. And that's not up to us. It's the surrendering into moving with it, not against it. So I had something come up this week with somebody that I have to be around too often, unfortunately, and I have a lot of deep forgiveness work that I have to do with this person. And this particular week, this person did something that really affected me. And it was just so wrong in so many ways, and I don't need to go into what it was that happened. But when I got the news of it, I was sitting and waiting to pick up my kids from middle school. And I was in the car by myself. And the second that this thing happened, I was so angry. I was sitting in my car so angry. I haven't visited an anger like this for probably 6 years. And I had to be with this anger. Why am I so angry right now? And this person probably has been the most abusive person in my life. And I have felt that I have completely forgiven this person. Obviously, I have not. So I'm sitting there so angry, and I'm shocked. I'm observing myself this angry, like, it's a big thing, but it's not that big, and I shouldn't have been able to go to this level. But this is the pain body. Different layers show us different layers of brokenness in ourselves. And as we grow, we're more able to handle the depths of the cuts and the hurts and the bruising that we've been through. So this is the next cut that I have to be with, and I turned towards it, and I had to ask it, what is it that I'm so angry about? And underneath the anger was fear. It was a fear and a mistrust for this person that has done really not okay things in my life and has actually really affected my life. And in the end, I realized I also felt a complete absence of love. There was no love in these feelings. I was a victim to the 1,000th degree of anger to fear to this is an absence of love. And then I was scanning my sermons I've been giving the last few weeks, and I thought, this person is probably one of the greatest teachers of my life. One of the greatest teachers. This person has made me an extremely patient person. It's really, it blows my mind who I've become, that I don't go to places like I used to. I used to be a real hothead in my 20s. I was like, it's gonna go Syntysche's way. It's gonna, I was a lot of fun, and I was just all the emotions all up in the air. And this person has brought me into my body and found inner peace in the midst of the storm so many times, I cannot count. And I've been in the dark night of the soul a few times over this person, but I found this in the Course in Miracles, and it says it this way. Nope, actually, I'm not gonna go there. It's not on there, hold on. It says, every question that you have, every fear, every doubt, every problem, when you are exposed to God, if you try to commune with God, none of those questions become answered. What happens instead is all your questions disappear. They simply vanish. Every question was a form of fear arising from the absence of God. When he shows up, the entire foundation of those questions no longer exists. So I'm going to show you this movie clip from A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks. And the movie is based around a guy that is a writer for Esquire magazine that has to write a story about Mr. Rogers. And this guy hasn't written anything nice about anyone in a really long time, and it's like the editor is doing it to almost punish him, that he has to now hang out with Mr. Rogers, this grouchy, crotchety person, right? And he has very unhealed issues with his father, who had abandoned him, and his sister at a young age while their mother was dying of cancer. And so this guy has gone through life feeling broken because of this abandonment. And I'll share it from here.
Bill was right. You
In the book Broken Open, Elizabeth Lesser says, in the spacious and safe, and actually it was Rumi that wrote this, in the spacious and safe atmosphere of a workshop, I have helped, oh no, actually, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. The breeze at dawn, this is written, it's in Broken Open, but Rumi wrote this poem, sorry. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. In the spacious and safe atmosphere of a workshop, I have helped people grapple with questions like these. How can I stay awake even when it hurts? What might those secrets at dawn be? Why am I so afraid to slow down and listen? What will it take for my longing for wakefulness to become stronger than my fear of change? What might those secrets at dawn be? Why am I so afraid to slow down and listen? What will it take for my longing for wakefulness to become stronger than my fear of change? So, once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what the storm's all about. When darkness descends, joy is blotted out, buried, seemingly non-existent. Everything weighed like a heavy burden. All my activities felt like obligations. When I realized that I had forgotten joy, we have to start creating a what I want in my life list. One of the things, I had to take a training, ministers and licensed teachers have to do a training every year to keep our licenses, and the particular thing was on ethics and boundaries. And a greater part of this hour-and-a-half training that I did over Skype last week was about making a list of the things that are important in your life, right? As clergy or counselors or life coaches, people that work in the service of other people can really give away themselves in a deep way where your needs are not being taken care of. And it's because you've been called to this work and you feel like you do God's work. And so your 9 to 5, there is no 9 to 5. And it just gets really blurry at the edges. And so they're always trying to maintain that self-care and boundaries is a very important piece to this work, to be able to have something to give, to have the glass half full. So the idea of making a list of what is truly important to you, and to know that that's being fulfilled, and then we give beyond that, right? So for me, it's dinner with my kids, being able to make sure I get them ready to go off to school. It's spending time with them on Saturdays, so don't take weddings or memorials very often, making sure that whenever I'm saying yes to somebody out here, that I remember I'm saying no to something on that list. In this rapid time of being demanded upon, we can be accessed through email, text, Facebook, Instagram, Messenger. Messenger's the real killer. I mean, anybody, any stranger can contact you through Messenger. They literally don't have to be your friend on anything, right? And so to be able to get a really clear, what is it that you really want in your life? The things that do bring you true pleasure. What are the things that are important to you? That you start to stand up for your soul so that you're more capable of being of service in a greater, more powerful way than in a broken, strings going out there, and it's not all of you. And then in the end, you have anxiety, like I had last night, or you have depression, because we're giving of a glass that's not half full. And that also comes down to meditation and knowing your boundaries. There it is, it's backwards. Okay, Ecclesiastes 3, 1-2 says, to everything there is a season, a time to every purpose under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And I believe this is about the dark night of the soul. Because it's a time to die, is a time of things to end that no longer serve us. It's not physical death, right? Because after that, it's a time to plant. So it's letting go of the old limited thinkings, feelings, emotions that are no longer serving us as powerful co-creators, and then planting the seeds of what you want. I want greater peace. I want more laughter. I want to enjoy the beautiful weather. I want to have healthy children. You know, whatever that list is for you, right? And to be able to be really with that. So there's this wonderful thing that was written, and I'm going to read it to you. There is an extremely powerful force that so far science has not found a formal explanation to. It is a force that includes and governs all others, and is even behind any phenomenon operating in the universe, and has not yet been identified by us. This universal force is love. When scientists looked for a unified theory of the universe, they forgot the most powerful unseen force. Love is light, and enlightens those who give and receive it. Love is gravity, because it makes some people feel attracted to others. Love is power, because it multiplies the best we have and allows humanity to not be extinguished in their blind selfishness. Love unfolds and reveals. For love we live and die. Love is God, and God is love. If we want our species to survive, if we are to find meaning in life, if we want to save the world and every sentient being that inhabits it, love is the one and only answer. Perhaps we are not yet ready to make a bomb of love, a device powerful enough to entirely destroy the hate, selfishness, and greed that devastates this planet. However, each individual carries within them a small but powerful generator of love whose energy is waiting to be released. We'll take an offering for unity now.
Having received such wonderful insights into human nature, ourselves, it says that we are moving toward a new dimension of awareness. We are going to see it happen, and it's not going to be very long, because it's happening exponentially. It's not just happening here in Unity of Boulder, but it's happening in different places around. And even the difficulties and the challenges coming our way are going to be overstepped by that divine awareness that is coming through people everywhere. So we're part of that, and that's phenomenal. And we should open our hearts in gratitude to be able to remember this and take this back into our lives. With those thoughts in mind, can we just take our offerings in our hands and bless them with this offering statement? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And we have an opportunity to listen to somebody do something. I'll dance if I have to. Okay. Okay.
beautiful. Thank you. So we have CDs and DVDs available of this talk right after the service in the bookstore. And we want to thank our live stream people that joined us as well, and our Spanish-speaking folks as well.
Prayer partners.
And we have prayer partners available. They're going to stand up. They've got their scarves on, so you can come and meet them down here, and then they'll take you to the meditation room and pray with you after the service if you have a challenge to share with them. And then we have fellowship with bagels and coffee and stuff, so join us over there. And let's all rise. We're going to be doing I release and I let go, so we aren't going to be holding hands today, but we're going to dance. We can get the energy out that way.
I